Hello everybody, I'm Icebane Gaming, and I am back with a solo Let's Play this time. I was thinking I may as well get back into Magic the Gathering. It's been a minute. Last time I did anything Magic the Gathering related on my channel, it was a Mill Tribal deck about, I want to say, 3-4 years ago. That was the last time I was hardcore into Magic, but I got back into it recently when I decided I just wanted to play a few cards. I was getting bored of all the other games I was playing, and well, here we are. The new Phyrexia set came out a week after I started playing again, and now it's been here for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. But I got some of my old metas back up and running. One of my favorite metas is my Artifacts Multiply deck, which it's just what I call it. It's a deck that is entirely about getting off a combo where everything cascades into one another. It's a large deck. I'll show it after a round. Hopefully we have a good one to start with. Because it's large, it could sometimes be inconsistent. I get locked at 2 mana quite a lot. But the thing is that I don't want to add more mana, because mana is what stops the combo. So ideally I just get enough mana to be able to use, and then I don't get any more. Alright, so here we are. Basic beginnings. Gotta set up my groundworks. Probably gonna start with the Patchwork Automata so I could start building up as I play things. And ideally we'll get another mana next turn so that we could go into the Palladium Myr. Or Mire. I'll just call them Myr because that's what I've always called them. They've also got a Palladium Myr. And I am locked. Alright. When I go to show it, always gonna show exactly what's wrong with the deck. Its biggest downfall, mana. Either you have too little or too much. And when it's too much, it's not for the same reason you have too much mana in other decks. It's rare that you get a hand swamped with mana. It's too much when it stops you from your Cascade. Oh boy, there we go. That's what we need. Do I go into the Myr or do I go Crystalline Giant because I'm behind? Let the Giant start building. I'll go Myr. Alright. I'll start attacking with my Automata. And ideally, I'd be able to block and make it look like it's a chump block, because the Steel Overseer is, in a sense, a trap. Okay, Faithful Absence. I guess I'll take it. Whatever. Can't do much about that. Stop me from my mana growth. Next turn, I would have gone into Joyra's Familiar, and then I could have gotten Ugin the turn after, even if I didn't get any more mana. Alright. They fell for, well, I would say they fell for my trap, but I'm not going to chump block my Steel Overseer yet. I want it to be bigger before I start doing that. The way that you trap with an Overseer is you let them attack with something of the same combat value, and then you go to block it and they think, oh, it's a chump block, they're using something strong for a chump block, and then you tap him and then suddenly he's one bigger than them and he doesn't die. It makes him quite useful. Crystalline Giant got flying right away, better than when it gets reach, but that means that if it gets reach, it's just a wasted ability. Alright, put a Ghost Form counter on one non-token creature. Alright, return it and get a Spirit token. Alright, so it's a way to bounce. Okay, exile target permanent. Alright, got rid of my Crystalline Giant. Whatever. Come on, attack me. No? Alright. Let's activate the ability of my Overseer. Alright. Now we could start our little Cascade. Okay. Throw this out just to have it, and it'll start growing with the Overseer. One attack. Next. They're probably the reason why you don't see Kaya the inexorable often, is because the other Kayas are better. And also, Ugin does everything she does, but better, and you could put Ugin in any deck. Oh boy, got another one, eh? Joyra's Familiar? Is that what you're going for? Joyra's Familiar or Steel Overseer? If you take Steel Overseer, I don't care. They're honestly supposed to be bait anyways, but also they work functionally as great creatures. Alright. You gonna attack with it? No? Okay. Make everything grow. You leave the Overseer untapped until their turn so that you could use them as a blocker as well as grow. I'll need one more, and then next turn I have Ugin. As you can see, everything gets cheaper and cheaper. Let's play this as well. The legend rule doesn't apply. Get rid of Kaya with the patchwork. I guess I should explain a little bit of what my board presence is. The mirror box makes things grow with the number that are around it. Like, since I have two Joyra's Familiars, they both get +1/+1 for each other Joyra's Familiars that I have. Another thing about it is that it doesn't... anytime a legendary permanent enters the field, it doesn't make other legendary permanents of the same name disappear. It's a way to keep... oh boy. Ward 2? Okay. It's a way to get more legendaries out on the field that are the same type. It works on Planeswalkers as well. You could look at the card there, if you want to. They got rid of my patchwork. Oh well. Sucks that I didn't have the Ozolith on play. Ozolith is in the deck. I only have one of them, so that if I end up having a creature die, all the tokens go to it, and I could just move them along. Oh man, just not letting me have fun today, huh? Let's see. Pass to attackers. Spending too much time talking. Running my gums. Getting distracted. Alright. I have the Stonequill Serpent in here for a little bit of versatile board presence, if needed. I'm gonna play this, another Steel Overseer, and I'm going to draw a card. Alright. Oh well, that works. Do that. Come on, block. You know you want to. Block with the Spirit. She's dead anyways, come on. Fall for it. Fall for it. You could do it. You fell for it. Alright, bud. Nice. Took both out. Now, I have a Drunk Troller in here. Honestly, it could be here. It could also not be. It's just so that if I end up losing a lot of my cards in game, then I could just start cycling them back to the bottom of my library. Urza's Construction Drone gives me some nice Urza lands, which are colorless mana, and colorless mana is great in this deck. Alright. I might win this without getting the Cascade. Alright, let's see. No blockers. Let's just make everything really strong. One more turn. Do they have an answer? Kinda? Not really though. They could still lose the game. Let's just do this because I can. Oh wait, cancel. I can't play it. Alright, whatever. Mystic Forge starts the Cascade. I couldn't have played Ugin. By the way, this is what Diamond rank looks like. This was a pretty weak deck to play against for Diamond rank, but they might be somebody who just got Diamond. I wasn't checking their emblem. But, so that you could see the deck. Prosthetic Injectors, just cause Toxic is strong, anything Poison counter is strong. Shadow Spear, because it gives you some lifelink and trample, just a little bit of an extra thing to throw on the board. It's basically just a free throw out on the board when you have the Cascade going. Pretty much half the stuff in the deck knocks this down to 0 mana cost, so a free equipment giving you lifelink so that you could regain life is pretty good. The Ozolith, which I mentioned earlier, anytime that a creature dies, all of its tokens could go onto the Ozolith, and you could put all those tokens, those counters, onto any creature at the beginning of combat. Pretty useful. If you got a bunch of artifact creatures dying when you have the Steel Overseers in play, that makes all of their +1/+1 counters go to one creature whenever you have a creature in play after everything else has died. It's just a way to keep your board presence really strong. Howling Mines, because believe it or not, it's a way to draw out your hand if you don't have the Cascade going, because you're going to run out of your hand very quickly in this deck. So Howling Mines are pretty good free card draw. Usually it doesn't matter if the other person is drawing as well if you're playing everything for free. Patchwork Automata, I could have more, but I just, quite frankly, I'm out of free cards, or well, out of card tokens. But whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Can I add more? No, I don't have any more. Alright, whatever. Steel Overseers, I already saw what they do. They're pretty strong. A 2 mana cost, 1/1 that adds 1/1 counters on each thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it mythic, but at the same time, my mindset is still into what Magic was 7-8 years ago. The power creep is real. Tablet of Completion, I just added this in favor of some arcane encyclopedias. I used to have 4 of these, but I added some of these in there because they act as both mana and card draw. And also the card draw is cheaper. You just need to get them rolling. You just need to add oil counters. Arcane Encyclopedia costs 2 more for the card draw, but it also doesn't have the added bonus of being mana. That is a little bit weaker, but late game, it's a way to stop the mana, like land, from stopping your Cascade. Then I have a Chaos Wand. There are no spells in this deck, so a Chaos Wand is a way to work around that. If the enemy has spells, you use the spells against them. If you think that they might have a board wipe in their deck and your board presence is pretty bad, you drop the Chaos Wand and use it, and then you could get a free board wipe out of it. Well, I say free. It does still have the 4 mana cost to do this search, well, from the top of the library. My lingo's a little outdated as well, but either way. Chief of the Foundry, I have 2 of them in here. I don't really need any more. I don't think that this deck deserves more, but it's just a little something to make people like afraid. It gives other artifact creatures +1/+1. It's like a weaker Overseer, except for it's a 2/3 instead of 1/1, and it costs 1 more. And it only has 1 +1/+1, and they don't count as tokens. So it's generally speaking just weaker, but late game it's free, so nothing wrong with a free card that just boosts everything on the field for you. Circuit Mender, a versatile card. There's another card that I forget the name of at the moment that's a golem. Hold on, I'll see if I could find it. I don't think I have any collected. Solemn Simulacrum? Whatever. It's a golem creature that works kind of like the Circuit Mender. However, it is you search your library for a basic land card, and if it dies, you draw a card. For a Circuit Mender, when it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life, and if it dies or leaves the battlefield, you draw a card. Same sort of concept, costs 1 less, and generally speaking, I might want to get some Solemn Simulacrums, but at the same time, I don't have any more tokens that are worth spending on it. It would help eliminate the land issue, but that's a problem for later. 2 Circuit Menders, that's enough. 3 Crystalline Giants, honestly I could have more. Let's see. I'll get rid of that. Crystalline Giant is a pretty good card for this deck. It works really well with the Ozolith, and it's very good bait for any exile card because it gets effect tokens added to it. Things like flying, first touch, first strike, death touch, hexproof, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, vigilance, and +1/+1 counters. And it's random, but you end up getting a really strong creature really quickly, especially if it gets first strike and death touch. First strike, death touch means it kills anything before they have a chance to attack it. No combat damage gets dealt to you, and no matter how strong the creature is, it's eliminated. There are some pretty good first strike, death touch decks out there. I might end up making one at some point. But currently this is my powerhouse deck. 105 cards. But then we have a Foundry Inspector. It's not the powerhouse of the Cascade, but it does help, which is why there's only 2 of them. Artifact spells cost 1 less to cast. Things in this deck don't have colored mana, so 1 less to cast is pretty much just making it cheaper. Everything could cost 0 if cheaper. You play a Foundry Inspector, you can play your Prosthetic Injector, your Shadow Spear, and your Ozolith for free. And also it makes other Foundry Inspectors cheaper. If you have 2 on the field, the last one would cost 1, and then if you had a 4th one in your deck, that one would be free if all of them are on the field. This one is also bait for exiles because it's not the one that I want to keep, because it doesn't work on planeswalkers. Then we have the Mirror Box. I explained it earlier, legendary rule doesn't apply is the main takeaway from this. Palladium Mirror, 2 mana creature, it's a no-brainer to have in here for some mana ramp. Power Stone Shards, very strong in this deck. Add 1 for each artifact named Power Stone Shard. At the end of it, you could have basically 16 mana on the field if you have all 4 Power Stone Shards. Once you have 2 in play, the third one could be played with both of them, and you'll have 1 leftover mana, and then you could use the 3rd one just tapping it to add a 4th one on the field, and that's just if you have all of them in your hand. But generally speaking, they could pay for themselves and also become a lot of mana. Then we have the Quietus Spike. I added it to the deck because it just makes things quicker if you're going against somebody with a lot of health, because this deck, generally speaking, you are going to be killing with damage, or people forfeiting because they see your board presence. You have it equipped to a creature, that creature gets Death Touch, and also causes the enemy player to lose half their health in addition to any combat damage that would get dealt normally. So, say you're playing against somebody with a life gain deck, and they've reached 120 life and somehow haven't hit a win con, and haven't just annihilated you using their life total. Quietus Spike would deal 50 damage to them, half of their 100 health, and very quickly you could bring them back down to normal levels of health in like just a couple turns. And then after that, you could bring them to dead very quickly. Then we have the Replicating Rain. More mana ramp. Always good to have mana ramp in this deck because mana ramp becomes free and it just makes you have more mana for those bigger cards later on. And Replicating Ring also, if it's on the field for long enough, makes just a lot more mana. It's a very strong card for mana ramp, but it needs to be in play for 8 turns to become 9 mana from 1, but either way. After it's procced, then you get a lot of mana, and you could also use Cairn's Bastion to proliferate and get it bigger quickly. This works very well in a proliferate deck, just a lot of extra mana. Sky Scanners, way to draw cards with creatures. We use them a lot with Helm of the Host to get rid of stuff on top of the deck to keep the Cascade flowing. Also, it's good to just have flying creatures to chump block or just get really strong because you have a Steel Overseer in play almost all the time, and that makes the Sky Scanners get bigger and bigger. And, well, not everybody plays with flying, that's why flying decks are so strong. Urza's Construction Drone. He conjures any of the Urza lands, and if you have all 3 types of Urza land in play, what is 3 mana to begin with turns into 7. It's very good mana ramp. Urza's Construction Drone, when you play it, it puts 1 of each of the Urza lands into your deck, and every time it attacks or dies, you get an Urza land from your deck. Have it attack once when they have nothing to block, then they play something to block, you attack again, it dies because it gets blocked, and then you have all 3 Urza lands. Very quickly, you get a lot of mana. After 3 turns of having Urza's Construction Drone, you generally speaking have all the Urza lands. Helm of the Host. There are 4 in this deck for a reason. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except that token isn't legendary. The token gains haste. While it seems expensive, a 4 mana cost equipment that equips for 5, its ability is insane. You could equip it to like your Sky Scanner to get additional card draw. You could equip it to your Circuit Mender to get chump blockers that give you both life and card draw. Chiefs of the Foundry, then you just get a increasing board of stronger and stronger creatures. Crystalline Giant, then you have more Crystalline Giants. They're just strong in general. You just get more. It's such a good card that if I had infinite money, I'd put it in every deck that I have that uses creatures to be their win condition. Because, especially with things like Polyraptor, it combos really well with Polyraptor or something like the Biogenic Ooze. Because Biogenic Ooze summons an additional slime, and then at the end of each turn, it adds another 1/1 counter to each slime you control, each ooze you control. And then it just grows exponentially bigger on the field, and then you just have like 20 slimes and they have no answer to it, and the biggest slimes are like 2020s, that sort of thing. Then we have Joyra's Familiar. We saw that in play. Historic spells cost 1 less to cast. Notice how it doesn't say artifact. Artifacts, planeswalkers, and legendary creatures count as historic, as well as sagas, but I rarely play with sagas in most of my decks. There are some good sagas, and I do have them in some of my decks, but most of them, I'm a very old-fashioned player. Sagas became a thing around the time I was last playing, so I'm not too familiar with what all the sagas are, but I know that there are some good ones. But historic spells. I got sidetracked. We have Ugin and Cairns. So, Ugins and Cairns cost less to cast with Joyra's Familiars. We also want to put the Helm of the Host on Joyra's Familiars, because then it just makes everything in the deck cost less to cast the longer you have Joyra's Familiar in play with the Helm of the Host. It is extremely good for this deck. Flying creature, 2/2. It's a 4/4, but it becomes really cheap really quickly. Then we have Junk Trollers to cycle our deck. Cairn Living Legacy. We have him to do a little bit of search, but also to create extra mana if we're locked. If we have used all of our mana, we don't want to use his -1 ability. We never use his -7 ability, but if we get there, we get there. It'd be a way to cancel out the Howling Mine, like tap your Howling Mine to deal damage to any target, and then they don't get to use the Howling Mine on their turn. That sort of thing. You stop them from drawing extra. But that's not why we have him. We have him for the search, where you pay any amount of mana, look at that many cards on top of your library, put one of the cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. That way we could cycle into bigger things when we have, when we need them. Like when we have enough mana and we are looking for one of our bigger cards, like say one of our Ugins, or we're looking for Cairn the Great Creator, which we'll get to in a second, or even like the Forsaken Monument, which we'll get to in a second as well. that sort of thing. You're searching for the big ones. You're looking for what makes the Cascade bigger. And it just makes that go a little quicker. Search is always great. Karen the Great Creator. Until your next turn, up to one creature becomes, or one non-creature artifact becomes a creature with power and toughness equal to its mana value. That doesn't matter. Activate abilities your artifacts your opponents control can't be activated. Pretty good, but doesn't matter either. It's a good way to shut down other people though. But the -2 is important for us. I'm going to show my sideboard in a second, but it allows you to reveal an artifact you control from your sideboard and put it into your hand. Our sideboard currently is a Stone Brain. It's very buggy in this version of Arena. I wish they'd fix it, because it usually crashes my game anytime I play it. But you could easily just like get rid of a card that somebody obviously is comboing with. Then I use Magistrate's Scepter. That way I could have a way to take extra turns. Pretty fun. Spark Hunter Masticore if I'm playing against a Planeswalker deck. Something that I almost always grab and is very versatile, the Aetherflux Reservoir. You gain 1 life for each spell you cast this turn. When we have the Cascade going, we could go from 2 life to 50 in 1 turn. Very easy to do. It's one of the win conditions. God Pharaoh's Statue, we have other ones in the deck, but this is just an extra one. It's just a way to thin it out. I could easily just remove it. Keening Stone is a way to just mill a person if they're getting low and they aren't playing a self-mill deck. Then we have the Portal to Phyrexia. Enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. Extremely strong, a way to get your grave present back on the field. Forces them to get rid of 3 of their creatures. It could counteract indestructible battlefields because, well, it's sacrifice. Indestructible, it doesn't work with sacrifice. And, well, it's pretty strong. 9 mana costs like 4 usually for me when I'm playing this deck, so it's pretty cheap for me. Normally people don't play it because it's so expensive, but I've seen some people pull it off. You could pull it off with this deck as well. Mystic Forge, the big thing for the Cascade. I might actually make an extra one. Ooh, don't want to remove it. Because it's so important. Once you have it though, additional ones are useless. But it is the big crux of the combo. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast artifact spells and colorless spells from the top of your library. This is a colorless deck. If everything is free and colorless, you just throw everything on the field. Pay 1 life, exile top card of your library. That's a way to get rid of land. Land always sucks to run into. Forsaken Monument. Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Every creature in this deck is colorless. No brainer. Whenever you tap a permanent to add 1 colorless, you add an additional colorless. Essentially doubles your mana. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. It's insane. Extremely good. I might even make another one. Oh boy, using up all my tokens. I just got 2 tokens today. I already used them. Alright. Anyways. Deck of Many Things, just a versatile card to have. It's a way to play out of your graveyard if you don't have the Portal to Phyrexia. And if you roll a 20 with an empty hand, you could just grab one of your opponent's creatures from their graveyard and kill it, and then that opponent loses the game. Pretty good. It's very rare that I roll a 0 or less and discard my hand. Anything between 1 and 19 is great. I have 2 God Pharaoh statues here. I have one on my sideboard. Honestly, I could just have the 2 in here and use the sideboard slot for something extra. Spells opponents cast cost 2 more. It's just a way to shut them down. Also deals with damage to them at the beginning of each end step. Ugin the Ineffable, another part of the combo. Colorless spells cost 2 less to cast. Everything is colorless, they cost 2 less. This card makes a lot of cards in the deck free. It also helps with the Cascade. Say you end on a land, you use his +1 ability, he turns it into a 2/2 spirit token. And when that spirit dies, you get the land in your hand. It's pretty good. He also acts as a way to control the board by being able to destroy permanents that are color. So he can't target artifacts that are colorless. He can't target your cards. But he's very strong. Great in just about any deck. And he's part of the combo in this one. Fantastic. Wormcoil Engine. I only added this because I kept seeing people using it with the Helm of the Host. It's pretty good. Death Touch Lifelink. When it dies, creates a 3/3 with Death Touch and a 3/3 with Lifelink. With the Helm of the Host, it just cascades down like the Ooze, the Biogenic Ooze combo. However, and unlike the Biogenic Ooze combo, it has Lifelink and Death Touch. Pretty strong. Then we have Akroma's Memorial. Shuts down black and red decks. Also gives all of your artifact creatures and everything else on your board flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, and haste. So it's pretty strong, costs very close to nothing by the time you have your combo going. It's going to cost you like 2 or 3 usually. Platinum Angel, no brainer. You can't lose the game, opponents can't win the game. Costs the same as Akroma's Memorial when you got it. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, good way to wipe the board. You could do his +2 to deal 3 damage to any target. This card, believe it or not, I got this card back in the day, back in it wasn't 2021. I got mine back when Ugin Spirit Dragon became a thing way back. Was it in the Can set? Something like that. But he deals 3 damage to any target with a +2. You could do -X, and he exiles each permanent with mana cost X or less that's 1 or more colors. He does not affect anything in this deck. He board wipes the opponent, but not you. I've misplayed sometimes by miscounting mana for opponents where they'd have like 8 mana creatures on the board, and I'll just sacrifice Ugin and get rid of everything except the one thing I was targeting. But yeah. His -10 ability, pretty strong as well. Usually I use that after I've wiped the board, and he's been in the board for a few turns. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield without paying their mana cost. So, he's a way to just get rid of a bunch of permanents in your hand, or just make your board a lot bigger. Stonecoil Serpent, versatile, protection from multicolored. It's pretty much as strong as you want it to be. Reach and trample. If I get locked early game and I want to buy another turn, I use these as chump blockers. I could use them for a lot more, but whatever. Field of Ruin, always great to have. Destroys a strong land. If somebody has like a land-based deck, you could just get rid of it. Karen's Bastion, honestly I could use more, but I don't have any tokens. I always forget to grab Karen's Bastion as well whenever I have rare tokens, because I ideally would have 4 of these. Radiant Fountain, 2 life mana. Reliquary Tower, I always add these because, well, no maximum hand size is good to have when you're going to be getting a lot of mana in your hand. Everything else leaves your hand, then a bunch of wastes. Ideally, you don't have a bunch of mana. This is 30 mana in a 107 card deck. That is slightly less than what people would normally go for land-wise. But that's just a rundown of the entire deck. Took about 20 minutes. Now let's play another round. How about Diamond tier historic plays? All the best decks are available. Shino God, I hope you're good. I constantly fluctuate from Diamond tier 4, I think this is. I forget if it goes golf rules, lower better. I usually go between this and then 2 ranks above, just constantly, because I'll get locked and I'll just plummet because I just keep getting locked time after time. I don't have any mana ramp or any thing to make the Cascade worth. I'm gonna mulligan. I think I'm gonna skimp on the Helm of the Host, but otherwise this hand is pretty good. The Helm of the Host was ideal as well. If that was my starting hand, I 100% would have kept it. Nice, we got the Forsaken Monument. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What's your name, kid? Paladin class. Everybody plays Cleric. What's Paladin? I suppose your opponent's cast costs 1 more during your turn. Alright, I have nothing that I could play in his turn, so I don't care. Let's get the Steel Overseer going. Next turn we have Forsaken Monument. This is pretty good, actually. They're gonna kill me, or well, not kill me, they're gonna deal damage to me with the... Oh. They're not gonna risk a chump block. That is surprising. They really should have. No attacks. Oh man, gonna taunt. Good game. Clap, clap. I really should buy a sticker pack. I have close to enough gold. Yeah, get those mana. Come on, get them, get that mana. Forest and plains. Oh. Wild Child, eh? Skrelv's Hive, alright. Okay. I'm gonna butcher names of creatures quite often, because frankly I don't care, usually. Ugin the Ineffable. We're good. Alright. I'm not even gonna get rid of stuff, I'm just gonna do this to get stuff cycling. I could play both of these. Perhaps I should remove the Ugin's Monument and replace it with the mirror thing, because then I'd be able to get special stuff more often. I say special stuff because I'm distracted. I mean legendary permanents. Roma mirrors, legendary permanents, get more Forsaken Monuments. Here we go. I said it. I done said it. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Come on, bud. Come on.
Yeah.
My shit up, come on. Do it. End it. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Come on. Let's go. Hit me. He doesn't want to hit me. Why won't he hit me? I want him to hit me. Alright. Well, we didn't get the wild stuff, but we have a winnable board. They can't do shit. Alright. Big GG's. Oh, I haven't been using my tablet, have I? Whatever. Really doesn't matter. Let's Field of Ruin. Let's just bully. Get rid of that. Nice, huh? Get the wastes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you betcha. We're gonna done dare hit him, eh? Oh man. Yeah, get those mites. This is like the best best field I've had for a while in this deck. Oh. Oh, you think you're some shit? You're real tough shit, huh? You're gonna play a Tyrannamax Rex? Well, I could easily block with my Steel Overseer and... Oh man. Ooh, tough guy over here, huh? Oh boy, look at him. Alright. Activate ability, get more stuff for the Ozolith. Oh man. You done messed up there, eh? Ooh, what you gonna do about it, huh? Let's start, turn that into a creature. Let's, whatever. Good game. Oh, they didn't let me. I might play more of this deck in the future. It's a really fun deck. Just to see if I could climb in the ranks of Diamond. I want to try to make it to Mythic. I should also mention that I have an AI story brewing. Big advertisement for my channel. Keep in touch with my channel, like, comment, subscribe, more Magic the Gathering content in the future, and I am working on a AI generated story with AI generated images, and I do voices. It's gonna be real fun stuff. I'm about 1/5 of the way through editing it, because my god, I'm doing puppet animation with still images. And animation takes forever. I need to get into a good rhythm to get it done, but it's coming soon. Keep an eye out for it. Also, more content coming soon with more of my friends. Cole should be getting back into touch with me at some point to try to get back into Neopets. I know I've been posting a lot of Neopets lately, but I recorded that 6 months ago. So it's been sitting on my hard drive for a long time. Cole and I haven't played games together in like 5 months, but we're still talking. It's not an issue. We aren't separated. He still is my friend. He's a good friend of mine. This person is playing a thief deck. Oh boy. They're gonna be playing with my cards. I know it. They already have one. I think I am not going to win this, because they're gonna keep stealing my cards. What are they gonna play? I know one of them is probably a land. Foundry Inspector? How many artifacts does he have? I doubt he's playing any. Let's go with Alright. Anything to stop him from attacking me. Play the Junk Troller so I can have additional blockers. I'm gonna let the Foundry Inspector get through if he attacks me with it. Because there's not much I could do about the Rogue class until I play like an Ugin. Because Ugin is my board removal. Does he have Ugin? Does he have my Memorial? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. I can't block if he takes it out. Come on, show me what you got. You got my Junk Troller? Nice. Ballin'. Alright. I am locked out of my own cards. Isn't this insane? I'm gonna lose. Come on. Hit me. Give me all you got. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hit me. Hit me, you little...
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Smite me where I stand. Yeah, yeah, I like that. Come on. Right in the kisser. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, kill it. Kill it. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Double Overseer action. Got rid of his Hordy boy. Oh, he got my Crystalline Giant? Oh, that sucks. Come on. Share with the class. Whatever it is, it costs 2 more now. I'm gonna kill cards as you attack me. Hope you don't get my combo. I doubt you would. My combo requires artifacts in your deck. Don't know if you know. You could hit me. We're friends. Come on. You know you wanna. Smack me right in the jaw. Come on. You know you wanna. Come on. Yeah. 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 Come on, hit me. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff right there. Oh man. Ooh. Ooh, that's some good stuff. Good stuff right there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Blocking that order. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, come on, yeah, yeah. Crystalline Giant, you're dead. You're dead?
Yeah.
Come on. Get back into my graveyard.
Yeah.
Does it go to my exile? You got one of my mirror boxes? Whatever will I do? Playing against a thief deck. And I have nothing in my combo. I could win with Overseers, but I want to have stuff to block him so he doesn't keep stealing my shit. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Alright. Can't play anything with it yet, but I will. Alright. Really, could be anyone's game at this point. I got some really good cards. They got Thief. So they got good cards from me. Past the blockers. Come on. You gonna give it like first strike death touch or some shit? I don't know. Come on. No? You're too much of a wuss. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. And you really could if you're playing black. The only issue is that he keeps getting cards that he could use to send my way. I bet it's a really nice card you got there. You just gotta show me. You're gonna love my nuts. Okay. Let's do 2. Auto pay. Let's take the Power Stone Shard. At this point, it's free. As a matter of fact, I gain a mana from doing this. Alright. There's his Construct. Counter target spell. Exile instead of putting in this graveyard. Okay. You countered that, but I have something better in my hand, Helm of the Host. And I have recovered from close to death. They have 1 creature. I could easily start blocking. And I'll start making more Steel Overseers to block with the Helm of the Host. So it's not how I'm supposed to win this game, but it's a way I could. Just flood the board with Steel Overseers, attack with the big ones, grow with the tiny ones, that sort of thing. This board presence is a grower, not a shower, at the moment. And I mean, considering how meaty these two are, it's quite a beefy one to begin with. Let's see, what's this? Return an unblocked attacking rogue you control with your hand, blah blah blah. Tapped and attacking, it's a way to get them to bounce. Target permanent from the player's graveyard under your control. Okay. Well, that one I'm blocking no matter what. Whenever it's got its chance. You gonna attack me with Shambling Ghast? Only OG players have Fire, Chandra, and Cat back when they added pets and character skins. I played Arena before it was cool. And it was always cool. Alright, Ozolith, they can't get rid of my tokens anymore. Let's do 5. Slap a big old 5er on that. Hello? 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 Here go. Alright, 5. Auto pay. And I'm going to grab, oh shoot, I want a Forsaken Monument, but I can't. I don't have a mirror box. He probably has all 3 of my mirror boxes. Arcane Encyclopedia. Draw a card. Well, ain't that but a...
Yeah.
Alright. Throw that on the field. Let's do an oops. Make them wonder what's happening. Oh, I should have put my Helm of the Host on my Steel Overseers. Oh well. We could attack with 1. Jump block. Alright. Still block Xerath. Ooh-y. Ooh-y. Like, comment, subscribe if you want more. Just gonna throw that out now. I hope you like what I'm doing. Wormcoil Engine. Oh,
Yeah.
got my Wormcoil Engine. Oh no. Oh no. I'm screwed. Attack with Xerath. No? Pussy. Pussy. Pussy, pussy, pussy. Alright. Let's do a 6 this time. Not getting what I need. I need those kilns. Before I forget, I'm gonna put Helm of the Host on Crystalline Giant. It's better to play that on that than Steel Overseer. Let's draw a card. What is it? Circuit Mender? Alright. Now we have more health than him. Wow. How did we get here? No attacks yet. I'm gonna let these guys get flying. He doesn't seem to have anything else that's flying. Unless he has, oh, what's the name of that creature? There's a creature that exiles the top 4 of your opponent's library, and then you could play those with any color of mana. Not going to attack with your Wormcoil. Shame it's going to waste. If you're going to stall, my board is just going to get stronger. Good game. Create a Power Stone, and draw a card. Let's get something fun. Oh, that's boring. Oh well. Okay, we got it anyways. Alright, next combat phase. Come on, give me something fun. Give me... Alright. That's pretty fun. Let's see, he could block with 3 things. No matter what, I have lethal. Good game. Nothing he could do about it. He could certainly try, but he won't get enough health back from it. That is GG, my good sir. G freaking G. Good game. Alright. I think that's enough for one episode. I'll cut it down. It'll probably end up like 45 minutes either way. I thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and have a good one. Bye now.